Logic Pro X is probably one of the easiest DAWs to get started with. And guess what? Your boy Wavy done made it even easier to get a dope sound using my custom Logic Pro X session templates. What's up, y'all? This your boy Wavy Wayne, WavyWayne.com, and that's right. If you visited WavyWayne.com, then you seen all them templates that I got up there, man. If you just cop one for Logic or you thinking about it, this video aims to give you a step-by-step guide on how to get started on getting the dopest sound possible. The problem with using a DAW straight out the box is that recording your vocals dry is really uninspirational. Using a session template just gives you that vibe right off the jump. So it makes it a whole lot easier to be creative, and your mixing process is going to be a lot easier because a lot of those effects and ideas are already there during the recording. When you purchase the template, it'll be available for immediate download. All you have to do is go ahead and open up the downloaded zip file and first read the instructions that say read me, but I know y'all ain't gonna do that, so let's go ahead and take a look at this together. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up the zip folder, and then we get this folder here, Wavy Wayne Roddy Rich template. So I'm gonna open that up, and here we are. We got two files in here, one readme file, and then one of them is your actual session template file. The readme file, again, y'all ain't gonna read it, man. So it simply says, so open the session up by double clicking, go to the file menu, choose save as template, yada, 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 whatever. We just gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing that you want to do is go ahead and double click on that template file. This will open up the template as a new project in your Logic. Before we do any recording or make any changes to this template, we need to save it as a template on our system. This will make sure that we don't mess it up, screw up the settings and stuff like that, and won't be able to get back to our original starting point. So before you do anything, let's just run through these quick steps. Just go up to the File menu in Logic and choose Save As, I'm sorry, y'all, choose Save As Template. When this dialog box pops up, you can choose to rename it if you want to, but you don't have to. You can just keep that same name, which is good. And the location should automatically default to the project templates folder on your computer. So just go ahead and hit save. I'm gonna replace mine since I already did it, okay? So after that, we're gonna go ahead and go back up to the file menu and choose open from template. If you want to be an editing ninja, skip that file menu stuff and just hit the Command N key, and it will open up the same dialog box. Just a whole lot faster without being a granny, man. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna close this session without saving it. Let's say close and don't save because we don't need to save any changes, and bring this down here. So as you can see, once you choose to start a new session from a template, the My Templates folder will be right over here to the left-hand column. You can click there if it's not already open and select the template which you want to use. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and jump off with my Roddy Rich template that we just downloaded from WavyWayne.com, baby. Now that the session is opened up, we're almost ready to record. There's just a few more things that we need to do before we can start making some beautiful music, man. Another note, don't forget that you don't need to go through that whole process that we just went to. You won't have to do that. Next time you're ready to use this template, just simply open up Logic, go to File, and choose New from Template, and choose the template and start rocking out again, all right? So here we go. The first thing that we need to do is get a beat in here. Well, the next thing that we need to do is get some kind of beat. So whatever beat that you're going to be recording to, let's go ahead and drag it and drop it in. You could either drag and drop it directly into this track here that's labeled beat, or we can import it in using the file import audio command. Before you import your audio, very important, double check to make sure that the track that you want that audio file to live on is selected. If I have my hook track selected and I import my beat, then it'll go on the hook track. All right, not a big deal because we can always move it, but we just rather avoid those complications. So I'm going to select the beat track, and I'm going to go to File, choose Import Audio File. Again, unless you want to be an editing ninja, then you just hit Shift Command I. We're gonna get up out of that. And it'll open up the import audio dialog box. You can choose whatever file you'd like to use. And if you want to, you can audition it here. But I know I'm just gonna pick one of these files from my boys, the Noisy Neighborz, and we'll get started. So wherever your cursor position is at in the session, that'll determine where the start of that audio file is. So if it wasn't at the beginning, you may need to just go ahead and drag that audio file to the left to make sure that it's starting at the beginning of your session. The next thing that we're going to do before we record is lock the tempo in. Having the tempo locked into this session is going to make editing a whole lot easier, and effects like delays that we use are going to be in time with the music. So we definitely want to do this first, and yeah, it's pretty easy in Logic. So to do this, we want to just come down to this mixer section, and if you scroll up to the top where it says audio effects on the beat track, so we're going to go all the way over to the left, the track, the beat track, and then the very first plugin is BPM. If you don't see this mixer section, you can show and hide it right at the top of the window here by clicking the little fader icon. All right, so I'm gonna open up my BPM counter plugin, and simply I'm just gonna click somewhere where there's a lot more transients, get away from that little beginning section where it's kind of quiet. I'm gonna click later in the song where it's some more percussive transients, and I'm just gonna hit play. When I hit play, Logic is going to attempt to find the tempo, and generally it does a pretty good job at it. You may have to round it up to the nearest whole number or half number, depending on what Logic says the tempo is, but it should be pretty obvious what you need to do. So let's go ahead and play that. All right, so Logic has given me a template of 110 beats per minute for this. So I think I'll rock with that. Let's just go right up to the top here. We can close this. We don't even need that anymore. Right at the top of our edit window here in Logic, we see that we have a tempo counter, that little tempo display. Let's just double click that and type our tempo in, which was 110, and hit enter to lock that in. Now your grid and all of your time-based effects will now conform to that new tempo, making everything just work so much better, baby. All right, now that we got the tempo locked in, do you want to use any auto-tune? You know you want to use some auto-tune. You know you want to use some auto-tune. So to use auto-tune, we need to make sure that we get the key right? The key of the song. So Auto-Tune Pro, and I think Auto-Tune Effects includes this as well. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm sure y'all always good about that. But there is a plugin called Auto Key. If you don't have the Auto Key plugin, then it's not gonna show up in your session, which is fine. There's a bunch of different ways to find the key. You can find the key some other kind of way. But if you do have the Auto Key plugin, all you have to do is click on it to open it up and play some of the session. As the session is playing, the Auto Key plugin will find the key. All right, cool. So it looks like the key that's being detected is C major. Once the key has been detected, the next step for you is going to go ahead and before we hit the send to auto-tune button, because we could just hit this button, send to auto-tune, and it'll send it to whatever auto-tune plugins are in our session. But Logic has this feature to where it makes plugins inactive on tracks when you first open a session until it actually needs to use them. And so since we don't have anything on this record track or this hook vocal track, you can see that our plugins are pretty much grayed out and they aren't active. So the only thing that we have to do to activate them is simply select the track. So if I just click on one of these tracks here, I'm just gonna click on the nameplate down here to select it. If I click on them, now we see that those plugins are all active, and then I can hit the send to auto-tune feature. All right, cool. And if I just open up one of my auto-tune plugins, you'll see that the key is now C major. Now, of course, I ain't no damn soprano, so I might need to change that. And you might need to do that as well. Cool. All right. So now we all set with that. We got the auto-tune on there. We got the key of the song. We got the tempo of the song. Now I think we ready to record. Before we start recording, I need to double check my inputs and make sure that they're routed properly. All right. To do this, I'm simply just going to go down to my mixer section again, and right here we have the section for inputs. Now on my beat track, which is the first track, I don't need to see any inputs there. We can actually make this a little larger if we need to. I don't need to see any inputs on the beat track, so I'm not using any inputs, so that can be blank. Here it is up here. But on the actual record track, this is the one that really matters. The record track is where we're going to do all of our recording. So my microphone is plugged into input 2 on my audio interface. If yours is plugged into input 1, then just click on that input path selector and change to input 1. As simple as that. If you're having a problem and you don't see your audio interface, you don't see the inputs for it shown, then you probably need to go up to the Logic Pro X menu and choose Preferences. You need to go back to my older Logic video, my first Logic video, how to record in Logic. Double check and make sure that Logic is actually using the appropriate audio interface and has the right I/O set up, all right? So now that I'm set up for that, I think I'm ready to record mine. Let me get some headphones out. When you're ready to record, you simply want to just go over to the record track and click on the record on button. You should be able to hear yourself now if everything is routed correctly. You can also just hit the record button here in the edit section of the Logic window as well. All right, so all the effects are working. I can hear the auto tune. And I can hear some reverb too. All right, so now let's go ahead and start recording. I'm simply just gonna take my cursor back to the beginning by hitting return on the keyboard. And I'm gonna start recording by hitting Command Spacebar. If you wanna be an editing ninja. But if you wanna be a granny about it, you can just go right up to the transport here and click that record button. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Can you turn it down, please?
Wayne is in the building and we record it. Yeah. Yeah. I just dropped the record and you know it's hot, dog. I've been at the coop out the box. All right. Let's try that again. Let's go ahead and delete that. We're gonna take that back. Yeah. We about to record.
Can you turn that down, please?
I am making a hot song. Baby girl that you got on. All right, cool. So I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself. When you done recording your lead vocal or verse, whatever it is, you can just go ahead and simply drag and drop it down to the appropriate tracks below and then play them back. Hopefully your song is a whole lot better than mine, but you can repeat this process as many times as you need to. So let's say you had another lead vocalist. You can simply just go over to this lead vocal track, and if you hit Command D, that'll allow you to duplicate that track. So you can get as many lead vocal tracks or as many hook tracks as you need to. You can duplicate all of these tracks. You can even open up all of the different plugins and manipulate them to fit your specific sound that you're looking for. Hopefully you found this quick video to be helpful. I'll be dropping some new Logic templates often, so check back on WavyWayne.com to cop some more sauce, baby. Also, if you ever need any professional mixing services, visit WavyWayne.com and choose mixing services. Fill out the quick form and I'll get you a quote so we can get your sauce up on the radio, man. Get it professionally dripped up. You feels me? Thanks for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, be dope, man. Be real dope.